Hello everyone. This is the Unit 5 Tests Study Guide. I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible and get these posted. These first 6 are going to be just about reading the unit circle. I think, oh man, I don't even remember what I told you guys. These are supposed to be different. I think this was 310, and I don't remember what this one was, so I'm just going to say 215. So let's see here. Let's look at the first one. 120 degrees. So the radian measure to find that, we do 120 degrees times pi over 180, which is equal to pi times 120. The degrees cancel out over 180. The zeros cancel out, and then 12 over 18 should simplify all the way down to 2/3. So this should be 2 pi over 3. A positive coterminal angle. So to find a positive coterminal angle, we're going to add 2 pi, but we're going to have a common denominator. So we'll add 6 pi over 3, and our positive coterminal angle will be 8 pi over 3. For a negative coterminal angle, we will subtract 6 pi. So 2 minus 6 is a negative 4 pi over 3. And there we go. For 215, I will not give you this one on the tests because, it's probably a little annoying without a calculator. But you do this, multiply again by pi over 180. And so 215 over 180, so that's what, not divisible by 3, it's divisible by 5. So 2043, so that's going to be 43, is that right? 43 times 5, so 40 times 5 is 200, yep. So it's going to be 43 pi. And then 180 divided by pi is, so let's see, divided by 5 is going to be, what, 4 short 16? No, 4 short of, so 36. So 43 over 36, sorry, 43 pi over 36 would be our simplified answer. And again, I don't think this is the one that I gave you. I just forgot what I gave you guys. And then I would need to add, to find my positive coterminal, I need to add 2 pi. So twice of 36 is 72 pi over 36. So 43 plus 72 is 115. Is that right? So 3, 5, 7 plus 4 is 11. Yeah, 115. Over, or 115 pi over 36. And then we will subtract 2 pi, and that would give us negative 29. Negative 29 pi over 36. The numbers will be much smaller on the tests, so do not worry about that. It'll be ones you can do quickly in your head. Like this one right here, 310. We would do 310 degrees times pi over 180, which would give us 310 degrees over 180. Sorry, 310 over pi over 180. The zeros cancel out, leaving just 31 over 18. So 31 pi over 18 is our radian measure. We would add 36 pi over 18 to it. 30 plus 30 is 60 plus 1 plus 6 is 7, so 67 pi over 18. And then we would subtract 36, so 31 minus 36 is a negative 5 pi over 18. Convert the radian measure to degree. This works in a similar way, we just multiply by the reciprocal of what we did before. So we're multiplying by 180 over pi each time. The pi's are going to cancel out. And then when you simplify this, don't multiply 5 times 180. The numbers will get big. Instead, we can do things like, well, I can divide. I know 180 is divisible by 3. I know 12 is divisible by 3. So I can make that a 4, and I would make that 60. Well, then I know that 60 is divisible by 4 to make that 15, and 4 is divisible by 4 to make it a 1. So that would reduce all the way down to 5 times 15 over 1, which is 75 degrees. And then to find a positive and negative coterminal, we would add or subtract a full rotation. This time it's 360 degrees. So 75 plus 360 is going to be 3,435 degrees. And then 75 minus 360, I believe, is negative 285 degrees. I believe that's right. Yeah. Yep. 4 pi over 9, we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. The pi's cancel out. 9 and 180 is divisible by 9, so I'm going to change that to a 20. This 9 gets changed to a 1. So that gives me 4 times 20, which is just 80 degrees. So again, don't multiply 4 times 180. The numbers will get too big. Instead, find common factors right here. Find common factors, and you can reduce it down to more manageable numbers. Adding 360, so we want plus or minus 360 again. We're going to add a rotation or subtract a rotation. And so positive coterminal is going to be 440 degrees. And then subtracting, you should get 280, negative 280 degrees. And we get one more here. Multiply by 180 over pi. Pi's cancel out. I have 18 and 180 have a common factor of 18. So we can cross that out. That becomes 1. This becomes 10. And so we get 230 degrees. And then to find our positive or negative coterminals, we get plus or minus. We'll just add or subtract a full rotation. So that's what, 590 degrees, and then subtracting is negative 130 degrees, I believe. Okay. This next part is, oh wait, I said the last one's unit circle. Nope, that's just conversion. This next part is the unit circle. We can look directly at our unit circle. I did not bring mine home with me to record, but sine of pi over 3. If you look at your unit circle, it will be in quadrant 1, and that point right there was going to be, so pi over 3 should be 1/2, I believe, comma root 3 over 2. And so sine of pi over 3 is the y value there. So this would be equal to the square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of 5 pi over 6. So again, we look at our unit circle. 5 pi over 6 is going to be in quadrant 3, or sorry, quadrant 2. And the cosine value, that's the x value. The x value of that point is negative square root of 3 over 2. Tangent of 7 pi over 4. Well, this is going to be equal to sine of 7 pi over 4 divided by cosine of 7 pi over 4. Sine of 7 pi over 4, so that's quadrant 4, I believe. That is going to be negative root 2 over 2. And cosine of 7 pi over 4 is just positive root 2 over 2. The denominators here will cancel out. They're both the same. The numerators here will cancel out. They're both the same. That leaves us with just a negative 1. Now we have 7 pi over 3. So 7 pi over 3 is bigger than 2 pi. It's not on our unit circle. So what we need to do is find a coterminal angle. Coterminal angles will have the same trig functions as, will have the same trig functions if two angles are coterminal. So what we're going to do is, this is too big, so we will do cosine of 7 pi over 3, and we are going to subtract 2 pi. We are going to subtract a full rotation from it, but we're going to have common denominators, so we'll use 6 pi over 3. So this will be equal to cosine of pi over 3, which is equal to 1/2. 17 pi over 6 gives us the same issue. What we can do is we can subtract, so sine of 17 pi over 6 is going to be equal to sine of 17 pi over 6 minus 2 pi. 12 pi over 6. So that's a fancy version of 2 pi. And then 17 minus 12 is just 5 pi over 6. So that would give us sine of 5 pi over 6. And if you look at our unit circle, that should end up being negative. Trying to imagine my unit circle real quick. Should be negative 1/2. Oh, negative 1/2. Positive 1/2. Sine is positive in quadrant 2. So it should be a positive 1/2. Next up, cosine of 3 pi over negative 3 pi over 4. We have two options here. One, we can add 2 pi, or we can use our negative angle identity. Negative angle identity, which tells us that cosine of a negative angle is equal to cosine of the positive angle. We can drop the negative because cosine is an even function. So we could say this is equal to cosine of 3 pi over 4. And cosine of 3 pi over 4 is a negative square root of 2 over 2. There we go. And that concludes page 1.